straight people aren't allowed to have an opinion anymore. Like that's what it feels like. Our opinion doesn't matter. You guys are the bad guys and we don't want to hear it, right? Right now, what's going on, people? It's Josh, aka Foresight, coming to you live once again from the other side of the culture, where we are in the culture but not of it, and we introduce the kingdom to the culture. Here we go again, y'all. Here we go again. Another day, another case of people being outraged about absolutely nothing. So, singer Neyo recently did a podcast interview where he and the host shared their opinions on gender identity and the idea of allowing children to make certain choices that will impact them for the rest of their lives, right? They both spoke candidly and matter-of-factly, right? But not once did they spew any hateful rhetoric towards the pride community or anyone for that matter. Neyo it still sparked some outrage, as it always does. And, Neyo ended up issuing an apology, just like everyone else does when the mob eventually comes for him. Then after issuing the apology, he took to his Instagram account to clarify that he's not apologizing for his opinion, but for offending anyone who might have took offense. So let's take a look at the initial video that caused all of this, and then we'll come back and discuss.
I have no issue with the LBGT. I have no problem with with nobody. Okay,
right.
Love who you love, do what you do.
Exactly.
I just personally come from an era where a man was a man and a woman was a woman, and it wasn't but two genders, and that's just how I rocked.
Me
now,
too.
You could identify as a goldfish if you feel it.
Right.
I don't care. That ain't my business. It becomes my business when you try to make me play the game with you. I'm not finna call you a goldfish, but you want to be a goldfish, you go be a goldfish. It's all
Amen.
I mean, it's just, we live in a weird time, man. We do.
Okay, so far, I see absolutely nothing wrong with what he said. First and foremost, he started by saying he has no issue with anybody, right? And that everyone is free to do whatever they please. Then he went on to state the simple truth that, life was much simpler when a lot of us were growing up. Men were men and women were women, and that was that. And, that we shouldn't be forced to acquiesce to people's gender dysphoria. I see nothing wrong with that.
Totally different times.
Let's get back to them days. I feel like parents have almost forgotten what the role of a parent is.
Amen.
It's like, okay,
Lost control.
If your little boy comes to you and says, "Daddy, I want to be a girl," and you just let him rock with that,
Right.
He's 5.
Right. And where did he get that
if
from?
If you let this 5-year-old boy decide to eat candy all day, he's going to do that.
Exactly.
Like, when did it become a good idea to let a 5-year-old, let a 6-year-old, let a 12-year-old make a life-changing decision for themselves?
Right.
When did that happen?
Right.
Parents have absolutely put all the responsibility on the children. He's absolutely correct. It's like the roles have reversed. We let the children teach the parents and tell the parents, hey, this is what's right and this is what's wrong. And you have to abide by my rules. And what I say goes. Like we've completely flipped the structure on its head. And, it's crazy. It shouldn't be that way. But here we are.
Like, I don't understand that. I don't get that.
And to medicate these young kids that are 5, 6 growing up and knowing that it affects their brain, it affects their organs, it makes them sick, but they're not allowed to do drugs, they're not allowed to do alcohol.
Right.
We can medicate them.
He can't drive a car yet, but he can decide his sex.
Right, right. What sex orientation, and he can cut up his pee-pee, and that, to me, that makes no sense whatsoever.
When people actually say it out loud, you see how crazy this stuff is. Like, what these people are doing to kids is absolutely nuts, right? Like they said, no one would suggest that it's a good idea to let kids eat candy all day, or we wouldn't give them the keys to our cars and tell them, hey, go have a joyride if that's what you want to do, right? Like, we all know that that's not a good idea because kids don't have enough rationality to make great choices for themselves. But all of a sudden, we're supposed to encourage them to mutilate their body and go through all these life-changing transitions just because you're having some feelings. It's insane, bro. And nobody's allowed to speak up. Like, we can't say nothing about it. And if you do, you're out of here. Like, then you get forced to apologize for speaking the truth. What world are we living in? I think it's clear that we're officially living in a time where the quote unquote oppressed have, in a lot of ways, become the oppressor, right? And in a lot of ways, the bullied have become the bullies. People shouldn't have to apologize for simply speaking the truth, right? And teaching their kids right from wrong and telling them and advising them on the right way to live. But what you'll notice is that a lot of these people who end up apologizing for saying these things that are just true are entertainers. And in my opinion, a lot of them apologize just for survival. The entertainment industry is clearly ran by people with, let's call it, left-wing ideals, right? And if you want to be successful and have a career, you better fall in line with the crowd, or else they'll cut your water off quick, right? They won't ask any questions. You out of here. So you see a lot of celebrities changing their stance on these types of issues, and abandoning their values and their morals because they know if they speak their true mind, they'll be out of work. Like, it's not a coincidence that almost every entertainer in Hollywood shares the same opinion about all these topics. That's no coincidence. Like, clearly something's up there. The truth is that you have to go along with the program or suffer the consequences. And, they're not even hiding that anymore. Like, that's just clearly on display. And a lot of them end up selling out for a check. This is a prime example of why Jesus said you cannot serve two masters. You cannot serve both God and money, because you'll end up loving one and hating the other. And that's clear. A lot of these people either claim currently or claimed in the past to be Christians, right? But they completely ignore everything that Christ taught. Everything, right? If you're truly following Christ, he will get in the way of your money a lot of the times. Like, it just is what it is. You can't, if you're putting him first, that's going to interrupt some of your money making opportunities. And these people know that. They're fully aware of that. So, what they do is they just abandon God, and they end up just saying whatever keeps their money safe. What baffles me, though, is that it's really gotten to the point that heterosexuality is offensive. The alternative lifestyle is celebrated at every single turn. You literally can't go anywhere without seeing it. And it's on every commercial, on every YouTube ad, whatever. But if you have traditional values and want to celebrate that, you're the villain. Straight people aren't allowed to have an opinion anymore. Like that's what it feels like. Our opinion doesn't matter. You know, you guys are the bad guys and we don't want to hear it, right? We aren't allowed to raise our kids in a manner that God himself ordained. You know, it's literally considered hateful to promote the one lifestyle that is proven to be fruitful. You know, you either adopt and celebrate the other lifestyle, or you're a bigot who, you know, deserves to be banished from society. It's absolutely ridiculous. I find it very ironic that everyone is preaching tolerance these days. Like, that's all you hear. You know, we're told to accept people for who they are and the choices they make, no matter what choice that is, right? People yell from the mountaintops about diversity and inclusion. But those very same people have zero respect or tolerance for those of us who choose to stand on the word of God. Like, it's completely okay to bash Christians and Christianity and disrespect the Bible and say whatever you want about Jesus, right? Like, you can say whatever you want. I see people who tiptoe around the sexuality conversations. They're so careful when it comes to these conversations. But when it comes to conversations about God and religion and Jesus, they speak freely. They talk disrespectfully. They say whatever they want, and they have no qualms about it at all. You know, they say what they want and nobody cares. There's no outrage. There's no disciplinary action, right? But the second you say something about this particular community or express a different opinion, you're somehow a terrorist. It's crazy. Make it make sense for me, please. But, you know, all of this is par for the course. You know, what we know and what we understand is that God is still in control, you know, and he will reign at the end of the day. He will get the last laugh. He always has the final say. And, you know, every knee will bow and every tongue will confess. So I'm going to just keep speaking the truth and, you know, standing on his word. And I ain't apologizing for it. Sorry. No pun intended. Anyway, get in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. Should people be forced to apologize for sharing opinions that don't align with the popular opinion? Let me know down in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe. Smash the like button. Smash the subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. It really helps us get some motion with the algorithm. So we would definitely appreciate that. The link to my music and to my Instagram will be down in the description. Go ahead and check those out. And I'll catch y'all next time. All right now.